I am tired of being insane. I am tired of the ups and the downs. I am tired of feeling things so intensely. I'm tired of meaning and purpose and magic and insight and awe. I am tired of pain and depression and stress. Tired of waking up excited or depressed. Obviously, with the shift of seasons, I've hit depression. And there was really no lull in between. So I woke up depressed today. Put the effort into Hi, Jules. I'm not sure. I'll look at chat in a minute. I put effort into the day earlier. I did some psychological work and I had a long discussion with someone and did some magical work today. Then worn out from all of that. Oh, and then I ate my meal for the day. After that, feeling like the day was done and I could stop putting effort into anything. And just wanting to rest for the evening. The fucking depression pushed in. And I sought just relief from it. Through like music. I was trying to just fucking numb myself. No, I was trying to let some of the intensity pass. I just wanted to calm down. I ended up falling into a spiral of connecting very intensely to the oneness of everything. When I was trying to just shut things off, I started into my agapic meditation. But rather than that in any way alleviating the depression just mixed with it. And like I've clearly still depressed, but I'm not plugged into it the way I was. It's just there was nothing I could think of that I didn't connect to and also feel that existential life is suffering. And just this heartbreaking depression for all the fucking pain in the world. And when I realized like what I had sunk into, I wanted to just instantly run from all of it. And just shut it off. But that didn't feel right either because there's a truth in that. So I sat with it. Fucking and learned from that state before starting to lift myself out. So I'm still very depressed at the moment, but I'm not all plugged into the universe the way I was before. But it's strange what could be dangerous. Like oneness and universal agapic love. Sounds like either hippie bullshit or grade school fucking Sesame Street stuff to a person. But even if you took that seriously, that sounds safe. But when you're insane and if you're clinically depressed, plugging into that kind of thing, fucking infinite love, like love isn't just a positive feeling. Love results sometimes in a positive feeling. But love sometimes results in pain. Sometimes when you love someone and they're not there, or you love someone and they're suffering. So love isn't the simple, warm, cuddly thing. Or it isn't just that. So if you're clinically depressed or insane, those kinds of meditations, I mean, even doing them when you're in the better state, because I fell into those two forms of sort of meditation or one combined without like meaning to initially, because I have done it so often. And and it's weird because there are other times where that does help depression. But I'm going to stop talking about that part of it because it's plugging me back into it just to think about what it was like. And so instead, to get myself out of it in a way that wasn't running from it, I didn't deny that there is that infinite amount of suffering out there. I just walked it back down to the part like contained within me. And I looked at, how I was doing. How did I slip into that the way I did? Why was I feeling the way I was feeling? And how have the past few years gone? And I realized that, like, in that moment, what I'm feeling now is just tired. I don't want tragedy, and I don't want adventure, and I don't want to be pathetic, and I don't want to be heroic. I'm tired of the extremes. I'm tired of the reality altering insights. I'm tired of change and the rapidly increasing rate of change. Who is it, the Red Queen, that says you have to run as fast as you can just to stay where you are? Oh, I'm tired of that part of existence. And ever since I've taken over the channel, I haven't had any extended periods of calm. And like, I'm not talking about some kind of fucking blissed out inner peace, some kind of metaphysical Eckhart Tolle now moment shit. I'm talking about the mundane calm, the mundane peaceful, and everything's fine. That archetype of the simple individual that has a simple routine and where life is fine. You don't wake up excited. You don't wake up fucking stressed or depressed. There's no extreme emotion. I don't want to wake up to a great day tomorrow. And I don't want to wake up to a difficult day. I just want to wake up to a calm day. And while sometimes that Peterson shit about if you're depressed, find meaning and blah, 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 and all that shit. It's fuck no, I don't want that right now. I don't want to matter. I want to be an insignificant something going through a simple routine. And being bipolar, I haven't had much of that in the past 15 years or whatever it's been. But there were some times where I had a bit of that for weeks or sometimes even months. When I say that I noticed since I took over the channel, I'm not blaming the channel because there's other factors. There's times where the fucking meaning and shit has helped me through stuff. But not lately. When I was like examining just the what the fuck do I need now? What particular hurt am I feeling? The infinite meaning within reality feels burdensome. Part of me doing this video doesn't even want to be doing this video. And what I am doing is trying to salvage some fucking good from the pain. So I withdrew into myself and then took some small active action. Because when plugged into that agapic love and depression at the same time, I just so badly wanted to help everybody. But even the act of doing this is not making me feel better about myself. And it's a similar feeling that comes along with other things, like cleaning for me. But rather than in any way feeling good about myself, that I am making some attempt to help others through my suffering, turning and facing this just feels like Peterson says, that stack of letters you know you should have gone through. Or it feels like beginning to try to clean an entire house that looks like the fucking monsters live there. It's just covered in spider webs. The act of paying attention at all to the channel and trying to do some good through it right now just shows me how little I have done with it recently and how poorly I have done with it overall. The idea here is that maybe even just me expressing that might be helpful to somebody. Noob says, visit an Orthodox Christian church or read Nihilism by Seraphim Rose. Life-changing book. And hey, Daniel. Are you someone I know? I'm not, like, do I know you by another name? It's a large synchronicity that you said to visit an Orthodox Christian church for me. I'm not going to explain why, but that was a huge synchronicity for me. And so, yeah, do I know you? What made you suggest that? As far as the thought of reading a life-changing book, oh, you just popped in. All right. That makes it even more powerful. Well, thanks for popping in. That meant a lot to me. And maybe someday I'll read Nihilism by Seraphim Rose. But right in the moment is no, I feel fucking exhausted by life-changing things. Yeah, I'm fucking exhausted by change. I'm glad that book saved your life. And maybe I will check it out sometime. Just now is not a time that I'm receptive to the idea of a new book or, yeah, I'm not really that open to the idea of anything to try to make any improvement. That is part of what I'm feeling is I'm exhausted. I'm tired of trying, or I'm tired of having to be in some fucking blissed out Zen state of calm, because if I'm not in that, I'm dealing with some aspect of bipolar. I'm tired of all of that shit right now. Like, I've used prayer and mysticism and stuff and meditations to put myself into pleasant states and to achieve altered states that were enlightening and profound and shit. I'm tired of it being that I either have to be doing that in some kind of fucking altered state or Eckhart Tolle type now, or being fucking crazy. Like, either being so happy or so fucking depressed. I am so tired of the extremes. I just want 8 weeks wherever, like, in that some impossible world where everything is fine, where I could think about any loved one I have and think, no, they're fine, everything is fine. Think about any aspect of my life and to think, no, it's all fine. I can just sit and relax. I can just read a book, and it doesn't have to be profound and it doesn't have to be great. Just meh. It's just a book. Or to just fucking be calm for a few weeks. To just wake up feeling rested. And have nothing exciting or horrible happen. Yeah, I figured you'd be able to understand, Dan. Nice to see you tonight. How you doing? Good night, noob. Thank you for like the well wishes. Take a vacation. I'm a fucking shut-in. And thank you very much for the synchronicity of suggesting the Orthodox Christian Church. God bless, lots of love. Hope you sleep well. And A says, is the book you're talking about called Nihilism, the Root of Revolution in the Modern Age, or something else? And that is the one they were talking about. Hello, Marie, or Mary, however you pronounce it. How are you tonight? Have I tried Tempur-Pedic? No. A says, buddy, do you live in the West Coast, BC, Canada? Gotta say, things are crazy there. getting out of there for a month or so really clears the mind. People just miserable. It's hard to explain, but it rubs off. No, I'm in the middle of nowhere, Quebec. I'm in Quebec, Canada. And it's like the local area is all right, actually. Like we're not having fucking fires or floods, and yeah, the local area is all right. But there are like loved ones I know that are having problems. And I'm not going to like get into that because I like prefer not to talk about other people's private lives. It's like in my immediate vicinity, geography wise, everything's fine. In my immediate vicinity, more emotionally, regardless of the person's location, like among the people closest to me, heart wise, there's a few different ones having different problems. Well, it's nice. I'd like to be able to say good to see you too, Daniel, but we're not seeing each other. Like, you're just seeing me. Fuck, we should do a lunatic patrol again sometime. I miss you falling asleep while we all have a conversation. But I'm glad that you seeing, or that me being here, like, is doing something positive for you, brother. I did not feel good about doing this live stream. And at the same time, I'm using it as part of my own fucking process to get out of the state I was in before. Yeah, I guess I had to take some small symbolic action of like reaching out to others before I'll be able to put away fully that feeling of wanting to help everyone that I connected to earlier. But this has helped me fucking separate, or fuck, this has helped with that, but it has not helped with the feeling of exhaustion or the depression other than that. Ace asking if I speak French. Je parle français un peu, mais pas beaucoup. Je comprends plus que je peux parler. But the area of Quebec I live in is very English. We're right near the Ontario border. There's plenty of people that just speak English around here. Although, like, am I feeling roughly excluded subconsciously? Like, I don't even feel excluded subconsciously. I am conscious of the fact that I feel excluded. I don't feel excluded like from my local physical environment. Like, I don't feel excluded because like I'm not welcome as an English person. You know what I mean? This area of Quebec is very friendly to English. Also, like, I'm living in a house my great grandfather built. My family, the creek that runs through here is called Black Creek, named after my family. So it's like, no, I'm not an outsider in Quebec, even though I'm English speaking. This is a kind of tiny English area, or somewhat English. So anyway, I do feel excluded from humanity though. And that's like consciously, like we discuss me on the channel as being a dog-headed man. I'm fucking like, I'm insane, and I am like metaphorically only half human and living on the part of the map that says here there be monsters. So I do feel excluded from the rest of humanity, but not in that kind of being an English speaker in a French province. I feel excluded being a fucking lunatic in a world of humans. Mary or Marie, which is it? Okay, is it Mary? If you say yes, I'll keep calling you Mary. If you say no, I'll call you Marie. It says, if you had to sum it up, what is your primary concern issue? I want you to feel better. I guess like the primary thing is kind of threefold. One is I'm fucking bipolar. I had 2.5 months where I was intensely happy and that crashed. So one aspect of all of this is almost a matter of it's pronounced like Marique, actually, or like Marie. Anyway, so one aspect of this is almost like a matter of bipolar physics. That time spent up, builds up the fucking kinetic energy that's got to come down. There's an aspect of it that is that. There's an aspect of it that is like what I pronounce this is I'm fucking exhausted. It's been I've been going through years of it is so much of extreme states and no fucking in between time. So I am exhausted is one thing. And then the third factor, which is something where I won't go into any of the why beyond just mentioning one person, because I know they're okay with me mentioning them. I'm just not going to say anything about other people in their life, is I don't know how long until Ani'd been visiting me. So, my girlfriend had been visiting. Then things came up that had to be dealt with. And so she didn't stay as long as we expected. When she left, we were expecting her to come back very quickly. And now it looks like it will be quite some time before she'll be able to come back. And so I'm aware that part of all of my depression right now is a loneliness for a specific person. And there's no issues between me and that person. There's life circumstances preventing us from being present with each other. But then it's also just swings, the change in seasons, that shit. And also just, I am so fucking tired. And when I looked back on it, I cannot remember a period of 1 month of calm since I've taken over this channel, where it's like things just seemed all right. And not that I had that much of it in the decade preceding the past 2.5 years that I've been doing the channel or whatever the fuck it is. But there was some of it. There were times where I had it for a month. So I could sum it up as I am so fucking tired and depressed and I need a hug. Fucking it is getting hard to read these tiny electronic letters. So I don't know. I'm going to just call you Shub. Hi, I just followed you lately and you're really articulate and some of your videos have left me feeling less alone. Okay, fucking amen. You've recommended that you read fiction. Can you recommend me some fiction books? What kind of shit do you like? Well, first of all, my favorite fiction book now is Jerusalem by Alan Moore. It's like 1,200 pages, so it's a major read, but it's fucking brilliant and life-changing. I don't know. I Am Legend by Richard Matheson's great. The Dune series by Frank Herbert's wonderful. The entire Foundation series by Isaac Asimov. I love anything by Clive Barker. Stephen King, especially like his early shit, is such a nice, easy read. If you're into psychological shit and horror, but like graphic, like intense horror, Michael Slade's work is excellent, especially his early books like Ghoul, Headhunter. Mary Shelley's Frankenstein is fantastic. The Never-Ending Story, although like you think of it as a kid's book, is surprisingly good and profound and is an enjoyable read. Okay, and it's you after it's you said so recommend some fiction books for someone with bipolar. So does that mean you're also bipolar, Shub? And I'm glad you showed up tonight. Sorry if I don't remember you commenting before. Just fucking I'm in a fucked up state and my memory's chaotic. But at the moment I'm not remembering you commenting before. And the fact that you said that you've come across like my shit lately and have made you feel less alone, that fucking matters to me right now. And it's like I wish it didn't matter to me, actually. Part of me even responds to the I'm not going to try to be articulate about it. Whatever good shit I felt that I had made you feel less alone. Another part of me reacted to that with like, oh, fuck off with that. I don't want to matter. I don't want. Yeah, I want to give up on that idea of trying to fucking save the world. But I fucking can't. It does seem as much as that agapic love and oneness state of mind really fucked with me, mixed with depression there. Not mixed with bipolar depression. I still think that's the fucking answer. So, like, love is still the fucking answer. I can't back away from that. And so, knowing that I've made you, whoever the fuck you are and wherever you're from, okay, so you are bipolar and this is your first comment. All right. Thank you for this. I'm pleased to meet you. I love you. Yeah, there is so much fucking. It's like Peterson says, there's so much out there that's wrong with the world that is so easy to fix. Or Dust posted something on our Discord that I watched part of, and it was some guy talking about how when he looked at his business failing or some shit, how he'd see how everyone else would have done this much better with that opportunity. Fucking, I get overwhelmed by it's so simple to help some people. Like when Peterson says, some people need so little encouragement to actually make a difference in their life. It takes so little to make somebody feel less alone. It also takes so little to fucking hurt some people and to just stop doing that. Like to recognize the effect we can have on each other. We can spread evil or love so easily in the world. And there are so many problems that would just are so easy to fix if we could just come from a place of compassion and love with each other. It gets overwhelming. And like the video that Dust recommended, the guy talked about how you can see everything you did wrong and you feel like such a fucking idiot for not doing better with it. And I can feel that way with this channel so easily. I see so many fucking things that I should be able to do better. Also, not even just with the channel, in life. There are so many simple fucking things that if I just exercised regularly and had my house cleaned up and organized, the difference that would make for me. If I just streamed a little, like pulled myself a bit together, streamed a little more often and started doing a few lunatic patrols, like other than my own fucked up, have to run to stand still, overwhelmed by the existential suffering of life and being fucking insane. It's like, if it wasn't for all of that, it would be so easy to do so much better. So it helps, Shub, to hear that maybe I didn't do so much better, but I reached you, which is better than not reaching you. So I could have done worse. Rhymes without teeth says stop crying. Yeah, it would be nice to stop crying. I feel like I cry too much. I'm tired of getting depressed. I'm tired of being suicidal. I'm really tired of crying in public. There's a part of me that just agrees 100% with you on that. But anyway, Shub, was there any particular genre you liked out of the? I don't even remember the rambling list of books I had recommended. I would recommend Siddhartha by what is it? Something Hesseman, like Hesseman. Um, that's a short book, fucking fantastic, Siddhartha. Also, if you're bipolar, okay, this is going non-fiction, but if you're bipolar, you might be interested in Shamans Among Us by Dr. Joseph Plemny or something like that. Now, he focuses on schizophrenia in the book, but it does all apply to bipolar as well. Just with bipolar being a newer term, it's like, because he looked at sort of the anthropological and like evolutionary lens, looked at the development of schizophrenia, which we've been diagnosing for longer. So in his book, he even says this applies to certain types of bipolar as well. But he focused on schizophrenia because there was more research for him to go into. But he's got an interesting theory about the schizophrenics and bipolar. The same way that, like, I think a lot of people know it can be attached to genius, like families with, like, I think Einstein's daughter or something was schizophrenic. But it's like insane people are more likely to be a genius, or also just to be related to a genius that wouldn't even necessarily have a mental problem. But he also like has this theory that there's an evolutionary advantage for humanity to have a small percentage of us go like be insane, either schizophrenia or some kinds of bipolar or perhaps other conditions I'm not thinking of. And that what that is those are the people who are naturally shaman. And so his theory is that perhaps these are the people who are supposed to be the shaman. And that nowadays, when somebody begins hearing voices or, experiencing whatever kind of psychosis, we take them to a hospital and tell them they're sick and drug them. He points out that, almost universally, like globally, everywhere we were primitively, the reaction to that would have been to take them to the shaman and to say, obviously, here's the next shaman. It's become apparent in their fucking ranting or whatever. You take care of them. So it's nonfiction, but you might find that interesting. I don't know. Oh, fucking, especially like I mentioned Clive Barker, but the book Cabal, the Nightbreed. Cabal, Cabal by Clive Barker. Fiction, fucking fantastic. Yeah, that's probably enough book recommendations. Okay, Daniel says seems okay. So talking about when I was talking about the area I live in, yeah, I feel like I live in a really, really great area. It's nice because the rest of the world ignores it. No one, a lot of the world doesn't really give a fuck about Canada, but nobody gives a fuck about Quebec. And people, yeah, it's underpopulated. There's lots of nature. It's a great energy here. There's been the shift in the animals. It's a little bit kind of depressing, mixed with the depression. Like went outside today, there were some birds around. There were 2 chipmunks, like Romeo was around, and one other little chipmunk that I can tell must have been born in the spring. It's not quite full grown. There were a few mourning doves and little birds, but it's like the energy has shifted. It's definitely the beginning of fall now. The animals aren't around as much, like there aren't as many animals around, and I notice the behavior's different. The chipmunks are not just manically storing seeds all day, the way they were before. So it's shifting. Yeah, a lot of things are dying. A lot of things are preparing to hibernate. It's a difficult season for me. Oh, wait, you're saying, is that a C at the end, Marique? If I don't know if you're still here, because I think I'm pretty far behind. I was seeing that as Marie, but is that Maric? Yeah, you're right, Daniel. I do need more water. Maka Spin says, why do you think you're insane? Before saving the world isn't the first step to try to save yourself. Yeah, absolutely. Although then you get this weird fractal thing, like that is one and the same, and yeah, I'm not even gonna dive into that. Like ideally you fill your own cup first and you help the world with the overflow. I can't seem to manage that. That would be ideal. But anyway, why do I think I'm insane? Having total psychotic breaks and being locked up in the insane asylum was the clue that I was insane. I've had multiple total psychotic breaks. I'm diagnosed bipolar, and I'm on permanent disability for bipolar. So I am like legally insane. I'm professionally insane, actually. I am so good at being insane that the government just pays me to do that. So I'm like professionally insane. So thank you to the taxpayers for pitching in on that. Dimensional says it's easy to hurt or love others, harder to love thyself. Fuck it. Sometimes I have no problem with that. And other times that is really fucking hard. Yeah. And that is where I don't know if I explained it or even if you're around, but when I talked about how I was feeling too plugged in to everything else and feeling the fucking like agapic love mixed with depression. And then I said, like, I tried to pull back in, like to focus on myself. That was the other thing is I tried to do was I was recognizing like, okay, you're not being loving to yourself at all. You're being loving to everything but. And when I talked about how I was checking with myself, what do I need? What is it I'm feeling? And then, look back on the past few years and how that's all contributed to how I'm feeling now. That was out of an effort to be more loving to myself. And while part of me, like, that's a different part kind of speaking now than started, although the part that was speaking at the beginning still present energetically. I'm in slightly shifted state. I'm not going to try to make that make sense. Although I verbalized that I was doing this for the sake of trying to help others, it was also part of my self-care and self-love because I recognized that I was feeling bad about myself for not doing well enough at helping. And so I thought, fuck it. I will get this done. Like, I'll make this small attempt to do this. And it seems that I may have said things that actually helped people in this. Like, this may have actually been worth doing. When I started, it just felt like I wasn't going to say anything worth it anyway. And it felt like it was going to just be basically symbolic. That it would only be 10 minutes long and that I would maybe even just fucking take it down after because it didn't go anywhere that anyone might find useful. Because I was depressed. I was not necessarily expecting that, but the expectation of that was arising within me. And in counter to that, it was like, well, look, I'm at least symbolically trying, even if it's short, shitty, and gets taken down after. Hello, Christina. I am feeling better than when I started this stream. Thank you very much for sending love from Hawaii. I'm sending love right back from Canada. I hope you're doing well this evening. How are you? T-Bone Sports says, isn't it weird that 10% of US presidents have been assassinated? Is that true? I have no idea how that relates to anything I was saying, and I have no idea if that's true or not. Which I don't mean as any particular insult to you, T-Bone Sports. I am skeptical of statistics that are thrown out in comment sections and chat, generally. Okay, Christina says, it's always easier to help everyone else than helping ourselves. Fucking sometimes it is. And sometimes we do both at the same time. Like, one great piece of advice for, and again, you got to be careful giving depressed people advice. It's got to be at the right time, and it's like the wrong kind of depression this interacts with badly, but fucking at the right time, like making someone aware that sometimes people suffering from depression feel better if, rather than focusing even on fixing their own depression, they look at what they can do to help someone else. Helping others is something that can help with depression. Like if you're depressed and you live near some fucking old folks home where there's old people that have no one visiting them, and you go there and you start reading them books, or if you fucking, there's whatever ways to help. Even simple things like helping out a neighbor, helping out a family member, finding someone worse off than you are that you can do some small amount of good for can really help with depression if you can manage to, but it can be hard to push yourself to do that. Kind of like with going to a gym, it can be hard to get started. Then once you've gone to the gym for a while, it's invigorating, it feels good, you've set the routine, you keep doing it. It can be very hard for a person with depression to connect to the world and start trying to help people. But if you can find a place where you are able to help people, it can help. And Dimensional points out that diagnosis and hocus pocus rhyme. Macaspin says your thought process is very sane to me. Okay. Sometimes people will say to me something like, no, even when you talk about, all this stuff, you're not crazy at all. What you're saying makes total sense. We use the word insane two different ways. Sometimes we use the word insane to mean somebody has a crazy idea in their head. But you don't actually have to be insane to, for instance, think that the moon is full of purple lizards that are the ones controlling everyone with red hair. If a sane person was raised and told that by everyone around them, and explanations were given that were, sufficient to their level of intelligence, they might believe that crazy idea. Also, a person can be insane and can have a thought process that is logical and leads to something rational. But that doesn't make me sane just because some of my thoughts aren't crazy. to me, what insanity is like having an internal fucking drug factory. It's like I'm on drugs all the fucking time. It's the extremes. It's I get depressed, not like, not because something like, and yes, something happening can trigger it, blah, 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 real world circumstances affect it. But aside from all real world circumstances, it is like I get shot full of fucking uppers in the spring. Hey, Gloff, it is great to see you. Someone had brought you up recently. They saw you in a comment section on a music video, and we're just happy to see you comment. But anyway, it is like having a fucking drug factory inside of me. In the spring, I start getting shot up with uppers. It's psychosis is like taking a hallucinogenic. Depression is like having some shitty fucking suck drug shot into you. So even if I've learned how to follow a logical train of thought while being insane, doesn't stop me from being insane. It's the ups and the downs, and it is most like, what it's most like is actually the mystical. It is like I am living a fucking magical existence where I shift dimensions, almost like in the Twilight Zone, where it's like, yeah, everything's the same, but this aspect of reality has changed. And it is like I experience angels and fucking miracles and demons, and it is as if reality itself alters around me. And you know that idea, the kingdom of God is laid before men's eyes, yet they do not see. It's like sometimes I plug into that, and then sometimes it seems to me also that the kingdom of hell is laid out before men's eyes, yet they do not see. It's like I reality shift into heaven and hell. Or if you don't like the mystical metaphor or that particular finger pointing at the insanity, then it's like being on fucking drugs. And the same way that, taking drugs like alters reality. That's how I know, no matter how fucking much meditation and study and integration and shadow work and subpersonality work I do, and how much I develop a rational and even sane sounding series of thoughts, I am still fucking insane if I am waking up suicidally depressed or manically enthused after 4 hours of sleep. Fuck, I just started ranting there. Yeah, what's pushing out the depressed voice? It's one of the fucking mystics. Like, it just went ranting there. So Christina says, I have so many comorbidities. It's exhausting just learning what's going on. It makes sense to me because one of the main things I deal with is DID, dissociative identity disorder. Really? I deal like alphabet soup on all the diagnoses we have. I apologize but I reacted to you have DID with fascinating. I'd been contemplating recently the similarities between, well, I find a lot of parts of my insanity, and I think just every form of insanity, is things everyone experiences just turned way the fuck up. Like everyone's experienced getting overexcited or feeling depressed, or everyone has little intuitions that, oh, wasn't that a funny coincidence? But anyway, I think a lot of, like when I look at my own, like when I view it kind of as subpersonality work, and in bipolar disorder, like what I experience when I compare it to someone with an extreme form of dissociative identity disorder, it's not totally different. It's as if mine, just the edges are blurred compared to that. It's from my understanding of dissociative identity disorder, one taking over for the other and not being aware. But it's when I examine myself closely, like I'm a collection of subpersonalities that different ones take over. It's just that there's not the loss of memory and there's not the sharp divide it seems there is with DID. It's a blurred, everything's all, the subpersonalities kind of overlap and blur into it. Fuck, I don't feel like I'm explaining that right. I give up on that train of thought. Okay, so Christina, yeah, because I don't know what the fuck else to say. So I'm just going to read what Christina wrote next. So a lot of the time, just sitting with each other in the depression sometimes helps. Yeah. That's with a lot of things. A lot of difficult things people go through, whether it's clinical depression, like just grief or a loss, stress, medical problems, any form of sort of psychological, spiritual, or physical medical problem, drug addictions, even. You'd be surprised with just being with someone, like just being with them, not trying to fix it, not even trying to help, just saying, hey, I see what you're going through. And just spending some time with them and just being present with them can help. We're not that different from houseplants. Houseplants benefit from touch and attention. Flowers like to be looked at. It's amazing how easily you can help people. Give someone your full, undivided attention. Be non-judgmentally present with somebody. Don't tell them what they're supposed to be. Open-mindedly look at what they actually are and just be fully present with someone. It's amazing what that can do. Hey, Chuck. I am glad to hear you got a new trucking job and that your tax return came. Okay, good. I'm glad to hear fucking life is good for someone. Thank God for the blessings that Chuck's receiving. Let's keep it up, and to those who have, more is given. Dimensional says, I think the insane people are the people who excel at pretending they're not. Yeah, from the enlightened perspective, everyone who isn't a fucking bodhisattva is insane. Ziegloff, Daniel was happy to see you here too. Have you said anything since hi? Or did you just stop in, say hi, and disappear? Okay, Maka Spin says, but do you literally see these things like angels and demons, or you just feel these things? I tend, during a complete psychotic break, you actually hallucinate things. Now, I think you're still seeing it with your third eye, but you see it to the point that it's like a drug hallucination. I've seen the sun turn into the moon, and I've experienced the end of the world, like to the level of it's a drug trip, and yes, I am fucking seeing things. Other than during total psychosis, I see things, but I'm seeing them with my third eye. Now, that can become so intense that I might mistake it for visual sight. Like if I were just sudden, fuck no. But yes, I've seen things. And fuck, I don't know how to answer that. Do I see things? Yes, I see things. But I see things with my third eye. It's different than the way I see things with my eyes. It's different than an actual visual hallucination, although it goes all the way to that point during psychotic breaks. However, what I do see is I see shifts in quality, like filters are put on the world. When I'm depressed, color changes, is less vibrant. And I experience states where I get visuals that are similar to early, like when you take shrooms and you're getting visuals where it's not like the intense hallucination of you're seeing some fucking cartoon character, but the kind of visuals where colors start to blend into each other. Reality seems to waver or become pixelated. I get visuals like that. But when I see entities, I'm aware I'm seeing them with my third eye, but I see them. Fucking, I'm tired. I don't know how to explain that better than I just tried. Christina says, yes, it's nothing like split. I was misdiagnosed as bipolar first. Very interesting. You may want to look into it for yourself. I'm still learning about it. For us, it's all blurred and been a lot of missing time starting to figure it out. See, I do experience myself as an us, but I don't have missing time. Like, I think I'm properly, although what the fuck does bipolar mean? I don't accept that label as in, yes, I am bipolar, and therefore, like, I don't know what the fuck bipolar is. I don't know what reality is. Maybe what we call bipolar is you're a natural born magician. Maybe the fucking Richard Dawkins perspective is right. I don't objectively know. I examine it from all angles. But the bipolar diagnosis, like there's a certain kind of bipolar that I fit into perfectly. Like Mike's, again, not to say that the clinical diagnosis is the one that views it correctly, but I'm saying I'm definitely the kind of person that the diagnosis is talking about with bipolar. Okay, Makaspin says, I have a regular feeling that reality isn't real, although I know it is real. It doesn't feel like it is real anymore, like I used to feel real when I was younger. Yeah. I get like a sense of, there's so many different types of reality seeming unreal. I have all kinds of experiences of various forms of disassociation from reality. But also there are mystical states that non-insane people experience where the archetypal realm, the whatever, fucking where heaven, you experience whichever of those things, and that is so much more real than down here. And it's a deep philosophical question as to what is real. But definitely a part of my fucking chaotic journey involves often reality around me not seeming real at all. Fuck yeah, talking about it right now is making it come in. It suddenly feels so unreal that I'm talking to strangers all around the world about this shit. Like, is any of this real? Am I really sitting here with this pile of toys around me rambling about my insane delusions and there's people from around the world listening? That doesn't seem very real. And yeah, now it's like everything looks a little like, doesn't this all look fake? Some sort of projection? I'm going to shut up for a minute and just read. I don't know if I'm going to talk again or not. Oh, holy fucking shit, Christina. I am sorry to hear you've had to deal with so much. And Makaspin, I don't know either. I'm sorry to hear that. But I also trust that you're every bit as much fucking the one infinite creator as I and everyone else. And that you're receiving that if you've been given those kinds of burdens, then fucking we all knew you were strong enough to handle it. Fuck, that sounds rough. So, I don't know. It's like part of me wants to say sorry you have to go through that, and another part of me wants to say like, holy shit, good for you that you're strong enough that God dumped all that on you. Impressive. I hope that didn't come across insulting. Everything is black and white sometimes. I've never experienced that. Experienced lots of weird filters on reality. Never a black and white one. You're interesting. Yeah, good point, Dimensional. We're closer to Fae than humans most days. Fuck. I don't even know what it is that we feel closer to than human, but we don't feel very fucking human right now. I don't even remember the last time in this moment that I did. Oh, it is so fucking hard to find a psychiatrist that actually listens. I'm not concerned about having the wrong diagnosis myself. Because who cares what we call it? You know, don't mistake the finger pointing at the moon for the moon. Don't mistake any diagnosis, including the most accurate one possible. That's a fucking finger. It's not the moon. It's not what you're experiencing. So, what even if bipolar is the most accurate diagnosis, like in another way, that does not mean I'm bipolar. I'm whatever the fuck it is I am. I'm very aware of that. Just to the best of my understanding, bipolar's the best label for that to use within the psychiatric realm for what I experience. But it's not the diagnosis. Yeah, I'm going to do a shitty job of this now. Like, I know it sucks if anyone's listening and you don't want to read along, but I'm not going to do this properly now. I'm too fucking tired. So I'm not going to read the comment and respond properly. This is going to suck now. Hey, Nerdy Bird. Hope you're well. And yeah, Nerdy Bird, another way you can look at things is everything is real. But then not just reality is real, also everything that we don't think of is real. Our imaginations are real. Every thought, every emotion, everything is real. Dreams are real. Hallucination, even drug induced hallucinations are real. Everything's real. Hey, Chris, new viewer. Well, welcome. All right, did you say anything else, Chris? because that says you're going to go to bed soon, so you may already be gone. I don't know if you're still here or not. But in case you watch tomorrow, I'm glad you happened to stop in tonight. It's nice to meet a new viewer. Hopefully I go live sometime when it's not your bedtime and we can interact a bit. Oh, next comment from Christina. Don't apologize for the info dump. Me and my community like info dumps. If I was doing better, I would have read all that and responded properly. So no, don't apologize for anything. You're fascinating. Everything you said was interesting. I'm just too fucking tired to try to do this right. So nothing to apologize for. I'm glad you were here tonight. And, well, not that I assume you're gone. I don't know why I put that all in past tense. Yeah, you can know you're real, Moccaspin, but you can't know I'm real. Maybe you're staring at a blank screen hallucinating me. You're the only one here that can really know you're real. And I'm the only one here that can really know I'm real. Okay, good. I'm glad it wasn't insulting, Christina. Fuck yeah, you were interesting. Flashbacks to previous lives. Fuck, interesting. I haven't not had that. I've had lots of kind of mystical experiences. I get premonitions of the future that happen sometimes. I have no fucking memory of past lives. Okay, Chuck, did you ever run into the random house to test that? Ryan says, watch Jesse Lee Peterson on YouTube. That name sounds familiar, but I'm not sure who that is. Wait, is that like a conservative Christian? Like short guy, black? Is that Jesse Lee Peterson? I can see that point dimensional. Oh, I don't want to plug too far into that at the moment. Yeah, Nerdy Bird, that's a good point. Like diagnosis and labels, don't do much other than like it's a shorthand to explain a lot about myself. It's much easier to say to a stranger, hey, I'm bipolar, than to have to start from scratch to explain how I'm different from the average person. It's a great shorthand to use. Yeah, good point, Christina. Who has an alpaca? Chris? I can't see the fucking icons. They're too tiny. Okay, so now that I'm closer to the end, I will read this. I was debating whether or not to say anything tonight and actually say what's going on and stuff. Yeah, only happened about twice the flashbacks to past lives. We've been trying to work up the courage to make our channel and talk about this. Okay, I'm really glad you chose to speak up tonight, Christina. Okay, Chuck, perhaps you were fortunate not to get murdered in your attempts to test reality. So we can all be grateful for that. Did you ever find a glitch? Did you ever, doing one of these things, experience a glitch? I could share I had an experience earlier today that was pretty intense. Maybe. So Christina says had a TikTok for a while, but got into some trouble, and that's how we actually found out about the DID. Interesting, and you're thinking about doing a YouTube channel. I'd be curious to hear more from you. I didn't put a link in this description, but all the other videos have a link in the description for our Discord, and that's where people can message me directly. So you'd said you were, debating whether or not to write anything tonight in chat. I can understand that. It's difficult to open up about this kind of shit. But you did take the step and you opened up, and it went well. Like me and everyone else in chat, no one rejected you or attacked you for opening up. And so, if this is something you've been working on, if you want to open up more, I don't know how much I'm going to be going on, but I will speak for the community and say we'd love to see you in chat more. And that when we have a lunatic patrol again, we'd love to have you join. But also, yeah, if you want to if you want to practice expressing this kind of shit, and message me directly on our Discord. I'd be interested in hearing another info dump. And if I can get this community more fucking active again, like if you're looking to simultaneously sort yourself out and find a way to help other people, I think you might be able to connect with some people in the community. Yeah, I don't know who has an alpaca either. Nerdy Bird. Okay, so you're saying you're Ketakino on IG? What's IG? And Nerdy Bird's curious as well. Dimensional has also suffered with DID, usually associated with some trauma, but can be overcome. Interesting. There's 2 people here with DID. And so Nerdy Bird, Christina says it was Chris Helton's icon that had an alpaca on it. Hi, Cosmos. Oh, Cosmosis. And hello, Nobody Nothing. All right, so Nobody and Nothing says that this is a noble cause and to keep up the good work. All right. And your test worked. I saw Yo and I saw Test. Oh, wait, is IG Instagram? Is that what you meant by that? Like, I do have an Instagram. I'm only following a couple people. Like, 2 full moons ago, under the luminous glow of the moon, I read some work by Asa at the beginning of that live stream. And there's the link for his Instagram in the description of that. So he's one of the few, but I don't actually use Instagram beyond I've used it to look at a couple artists' work. So you have pictures of yourself with alpacas. So I don't know if I will actually look you up on Instagram, if that was what you meant by IG. I don't really use Instagram. Although if you post, yeah, you probably can't post. If you post a link, I'll click on it. And if someone were to message me on Instagram, I'm sure I would see it eventually. But the place, if anyone does want to message me, or I'm so tired of talking. Yeah, the place to message me is on Discord, which every video other than this one, I think, has it in the description. And I'm just Mercury Black there. There's no other username. Yeah, and this feels done to me. I'm caught up on, even though I didn't respond to everything, I'm at the end of this and I am fucking exhausted. And there's no way I thought I would be going for over an hour with this. I thought it might be as short as 10 minutes, or I figured at the most I would talk for half an hour. Because it started with me just talking about how fucking tired I am. And I am no less fucking tired. Depression is somewhat alleviated, although present. But I am definitely not less fucking tired after doing this. Oh, you can't go to Discord, Christina? What the fuck is my Instagram? Hold on. How do I put a link just to mine? I don't check it often, but if you or anyone else watching, the only way you can send a message is Instagram because you can't use Discord. Let me see if I can post a link to my Discord. How the fuck would I do that? Okay, there. I think I figured out how to do that. So I don't post anything on Instagram. I've just used it to look at a couple other people's fucking artwork. And I don't visit Instagram often. But if someone does want to follow me on Instagram, I have no intention of ever posting anything. But then again, at one point, I had no intention of being on YouTube either. And I don't go there with any regularity. But anyway, there it is. You have a good night too, eh? There's people rooting for you. We're all in the same battle on this planet. Thanks for that. All right, look forward to hearing from you, Christina. I'm glad you decided to speak up tonight. And I have no idea where the future of this channel's going. There's times I get really overwhelmed and want to quit the channel. And there's times I get really excited about the possibility of doing more with it. But to loop it around to the point I started with, fuck, I am tired of being insane. I'm even tired of meaning and purpose. And so I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to, at some point, start getting more content up and doing more podcasts. Although there are even a couple things recorded that may go up, or I've got one thing fucking almost ready to go up and just stalled out it. And there were a couple other things recorded that might go up. And I might start doing lunatic patrols again. I mean, I've kept up with the occasional private session. It hasn't been a dead stop of that. So I'm running on a very, very low steam. And I don't know what the fuck's going to happen. Because I can feel all the extremes. Part of me just wants to quit, and part of me wants to fucking sort shit out in my life enough that I can come at the channel with a lot more, energy and productivity and really make a big push to help a bunch of people. But it doesn't seem like it is really up to me. I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen. I'm not even sure roughly. Like, that was weird that I fell into just a turn of phrase. I have no idea even roughly what is going to happen. But part of me would very much like a nice calm period where everything's okay, a bit of rest. And then a bit more stability in my fucking 3-dimensional life that allows me to come back and be more productive on the channel in a way that doesn't wear me out. I just have no idea what it is that's already happening in the future. So I'll just shut up now. We'll all go our separate ways, and whatever happens, happens. God bless, lunatic loved all.